Hi, guys. Happy Monday. Happy week 16 of COVID. I hope you guys had a great weekend. It was sunny and hot here in Toronto. I wish we had a pool and we don't, but we made do. And it is Monday morning. I am here with what I drink every day when I get up, which is a homemade almond milk. It takes work to make homemade almond milk, but I am obsessed. And it's a homemade almond milk decaf latte. I know it's crazy, but I gave up caffeine about 3 years ago this November coming up. And I actually feel so much better because I'm headache prone. So this is what I do to start my day every day. I exercise and I drink a decaf latte. What do you guys do to start your day? Anyway, it's Monday and I have a lot of things I want to talk to you about. We are going to keep diving into the top 10 reasons why kids don't listen. And today is a big one, and it's a bit of a touchy kind of spot for parents. It's a hard one. And we're going to talk about that. But before we start, I do want to talk about that it's holiday week this week. So for me, because I am American and Canadian, this is kind of a bittersweet week for me. Normally, I would be in Portland right now with my boys, visiting my family, my grandparents who are 88 and 84, my sister and my niece and my nephew and my dad and my bonus mom and my mom who is just recovering from mouth cancer. And so I'm a little bit sad that I am not there this week because we always celebrate the 4th of July with my family. And this is my first 4th of July in all of my 41 years to not be with my family. And so that's kind of the bitter part. The sweet part is we have a holiday here on Wednesday and my husband doesn't have to go to work. And so we are going to swim at my neighbor's pool, which is a big perk. What are you guys doing for the holiday this week? Are you taking time off work? Are you getting together with a small bubble? Go ahead and say hi in the comments if you're here. Let me know what you're doing for the holiday. Let's vicariously live through each other as much as we can during this not so living time. Anyway, so I'm going to share with you at the end a little surprise that I'm going to offer you guys because it's the holiday. And so you might want to stick around and stay tuned. But today we are going to keep diving into the top 10 reasons why kids don't listen. And one of the reasons today is a big one. And I said at the beginning, it's kind of a touchy one because it really does have to do with you and ourselves as the way we parent. And what happens is, and we've talked about this before, but our parenting approach, the way we react, the way we respond to our kids will directly impact the way that our kids behave. And so today's number 5, I think it's number 5 that we're on, reason why, it might be 6, why kids don't listen is because we yell. And I know I'm going to tell you that the majority of parents are yellers. And this stems, like we talked about, from the way we were parented. The way we were parented will directly reflect how we parent. And if we were yelled at, there's a really good chance that you're going to yell too because it's all you know. And I know with basically all of the parents that I work with, when they come to me and they say to me, Tia, I yell at my kids and I don't want to yell at my kids and I feel awful that I yell at my kids. And every night when I go to bed, I'm going to say to myself, tomorrow I'm not going to yell at my kids. But then I keep yelling again because I don't know what else to do. You're not alone. And what happens is we get ridden with guilt. We feel awful. We don't want to yell at our kids. We're not trying to yell at our kids. But when they don't listen and they don't do what you ask them to do, it makes you want to lose your mind. I get it. I fully get it. So what happens with yelling is the louder we get, the less they hear. So one really small tip is when you feel like you are going to lose your shit and you are about to yell, I want you to do something with your hands that's a signal. So I often tell parents to squeeze their hands together because you can squeeze really hard and it can take that energy to your hands instead of to your kids. I want you to squeeze your hands and I want you to take 3 deep breaths and I want you to calm down because you don't have to say something right in the moment. We sometimes feel as parents, we need to deal with that behavior now. They're doing something and I need to deal, but you don't. You actually can wait. And it's better to wait than to react and wait until you can respond. So when you feel your blood start to boil and you're about to lose your cool, I want you to do something with your hands, squeeze them, take a deep breath, and then I want you to whisper. I literally want you to whisper what you were about to yell to your kids. Because I am telling you, when you turn to your kids and you say, "What are you doing that for?" They're like, "Oh, here she goes again. I don't need to hear this. Whatever. She's not saying anything important. She's just going to yell at me again. No, whatever. She yells at me. That's just the way it goes." But if you role model that you're going to stop and calm yourself, you signal to them that you can control your emotions, which we want them to do. We don't want our kids yelling. Every time our kids yell, we're mad at them, but they're yelling because we're yelling. So you can role model to that to them. The other thing that happens when you whisper is they hear you. Literally, you will whisper and they will look and they will stop and they will be like, "What is she doing?" And they will listen to you and they will actually hear what you say. So the louder you are, the less they hear. The quieter you are, the more they hear. And they are going to look at you like you have three heads. And they're going to be like, "What is my mom whispering to me for? What has gone on? She is crazy." But they're going to hear you and you're going to role model to them positive control of your emotions. Okay, so I want you to think about if you are a yeller or you occasionally yell or you're a chronic yeller. I help parents every single day stop yelling. And there's a system that we use to help us stop yelling. It doesn't happen overnight, but you involve your kids in it. You get to put them in charge of when you're yelling and when you're not yelling. You get to think about taking your yelling in control and logging about it and focusing on it and really being intentful with when you're yelling and why you're yelling and what's triggering you to yell. So oftentimes, kids not listening is a huge trigger. But like we've talked about, our kids aren't listening for 10 big reasons. So it can't be fixed overnight. And so many times parents say to me, "Tia, well, how do I get my kids to listen?" I wish I could say to you, "Just do this one thing and bam, there they go. They listen to you." But I can't. It's a variety of things and it's a big puzzle. And I always say that to parents. Our kids are like puzzles. Our parenting is like a puzzle and each piece helps the next piece all come together. But as you start chipping away at it with simple, easy strategies, you start to see things shift and change. So when you whisper, your kids hear you. When you role model positive behavior, they behave the same way. When you start to stop reminding and hold your kids accountable, when you don't bail them out every single time they don't do something, they start to hold themselves accountable. There are amazing things you can do as parents that are simple things. You're going to live today with your kids. So you're either going to battle it out with kids who aren't listening and lose your cool, lose your mind, or you're going to be with your kids and you're going to enjoy it. But only you get to make that choice. And that's why I love what I do, because parents come to me and they're ready to like dive in and be like, "Tia, we need to make change. I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want my kids to grow up. I don't want to look in the rearview mirror and say to myself, how the hell are they 18 walking away from me? And I did all these things I wish I never did. And I didn't do the things I wanted to do." So I want you to think about your parenting experience. I want you to think about your kids. And I want you to think about how fast they grow up and what changes you want to make. So let me see here. Jessica, I'm a teacher, so I'm off all summer, but I'm on full mom duty with my two boys. I'm a post teacher as well, and I have two boys. I was a kindergarten teacher. What grade do you teach? That's amazing. And Kim, I'm still working all summer with a toddler at home. Yes, you are, but taking advantage of a sister with a pool on Canada Day. Yes, that's amazing. That's the same thing I'm doing with my neighbors. You guys are going to love that. That'll be nice for the cousins to get together as well. So today I'm going to offer you guys something, and I'm going to do this through my email. So if you're not on my email list and you want weekly parenting tips to come to you via email as well as in the group, be sure that you either drop me your email here and I can add you, or you go to tiaslightum.com and you can grab my free formula there and it'll take you right to my list. But I don't want you to miss out on some of these things. So, but I am going to offer a 4th of July and 1st of July flash sale on my handbook. Okay, so my Parenting Solutions handbook is like 130 pages. You can download it instantly. It's got an easy to use table of contents. Parents love it because we can't read hundreds of pages in parenting books and actually implement it into our life. They all sound amazing. You read the book, you close it, you're like, "Damn, I'm going to do that. This is awesome." And then you're like, "But how do I do that? How do I get that into my house? How do I make that happen? That's where we get frustrated and overwhelmed because there's too many opinions and we don't know what to do. So what I want you to do is think about this handbook as like a simple guide. So let's say you want to start potty training. Well, you just go to the potty training chapter and I step by step lay out what you need to do to prepare, what the phases are, what the plans are, what to expect, what you're going to do when. Let's say you keep threatening to take things away from your kids and everything you're taking away isn't working and the behavior keeps returning. You need to know how to implement proper consequences. So you just get to go to the consequences chapter and read about natural and logical consequences and how to implement them to avoid punishment, pushback, power struggles. Let's say you're struggling with sleep and you have an infant or a toddler, whether they're in a crib or a big kid bed. There are sleep solutions in there, a variety of options. Let's say you are a yeller, and we're talking about this today. You have an entire chapter on how to stop yelling, downloadable templates, logs, charts, trackers, where I walk you through how to involve your kids, how to help you gain control of your emotions. So you basically get all these tools. I mean, I only listed 4, but the book's 130 pages. You get all these tools and it's regularly $97, and I'm going to offer it 20% off. So if you would like to take advantage of my flash sale, you can do a couple of things. You can drop me your email and I can personally send you an invoice with the discount, and we can do it that way, which I'm happy to do. Or you can go on to my list and you will be getting emails from me, and you'll be able to click there and do that as well. I'm going to use a coupon code of, I need to set it up. I haven't even done that yet because the first is on Wednesday. But why don't we do July 20% off for July 20, because it's kind of a July holiday. So you can take advantage of 20% off between, I'm going to start it probably tomorrow, the 30th, through midnight on the 4th. Okay. So if you are curious about the book, you want to know more about the book, you can go to my website, tslightem.com, and you can see a table of contents there. You can read all about it under my shop. You can email me, you can PM me, you can message me in the group. I'm happy to share testimonials, whatever you would like. But this is a resource that you can just literally download to your phone. And when you go on holiday, you can be like, oh my gosh, my child's losing their mind. How can I get them on track? And go to the chapter that you need. You can print it out. You can have it wherever you are. If you're in a restaurant, when you need it the most, you can have it. Anyway, I hope today was helpful. I hope it's some food for thought, thinking around your parenting, whether or not you're a mild yeller or a chronic yeller. What kind of next steps do you want to take to change parenting? If you're still watching and you have some questions around yelling, or questions around what makes you want to yell and how we can solve that, put it in the chat box. I'll wait for a couple minutes and I'll see if anybody has any questions. But sometimes what happens with yelling is we are triggered by something that makes us yell. And part of it is because we were yelled at as kids and it's what we know. And sometimes it's from past trauma or experiences that we have gone through that we haven't dealt with. And sometimes it's through small triggers from our kids. So some people are triggered by the overload mess that's on constantly and having to pick up the mess. Some parents are triggered because their kids aren't listening. Some parents are triggered because every single time they ask their kids to do something, there's pushback, negotiation, stalling, and power struggles, and they just can't manage. So what are things that trigger you? Feel free to drop it in the chat box if you're open. If you're still watching, say hello. I still want to know what you're doing over the holiday weekend. But anyway, I love having you guys on here. I'm hoping that you're finding these lives helpful. If you are, drop me a little note in the chats to let me know. And feel free to request things. If there's things you want me to talk about, just request it. And the last thing I'm going to say is that I did a poll in the group about doing weekly free Q&As. Would you like there to be a set time during the week where I come on every single week? Let's say, I'm just going to throw it out there for now, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. And every single time I pop on, you can come in and you can just ask me questions. You'll get into the chat box, you'll ask a question, and I will do my best to answer it. If that would be helpful to you, if you are interested in that, either message me here, PM me, or respond to that poll that I posted last night to let me know so I can get a feel. But the more I hear from you, the more I know what you want, the more I know what you need, and the better I can support and guide you as we navigate parenthood, because we know it is not an easy road to walk. So anyway, happy Monday. Happy week 16. I'm glad you guys are doing some fun things this week. It is a holiday. Treat yourself to taking a break. Treat yourself to 20% off the Parenting Solutions Handbook. Give yourself some tools. Get yourself equipped, calm, and confident to parent the way you've always desired, to make the changes that you've been waiting to make. Anyway, I am going to pop off now, and I look forward to seeing you guys again later this week. I will post when I'm going to be live to keep going on our final 3 or 4 reasons why kids don't listen. And I will see you then.